Hey, what's up everybody, this is Mike. Welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing great today. And in today's video, we'll be talking about the DJI FPV drone and how I color grade my footage with it. Ever since I started posting my videos with the DJI FPV drone here on the channel, you guys have been requesting to see my settings for recording cinematic footage, and also you've been asking how I color grade my videos. Especially on one of my videos, you really seemed to like the look of it, so I decided to make this video for you to show you how I color grade my footage with the DJI FPV drone. And it's quite easy. You don't have to use a specific software. Nowadays, pretty much any software can do color grading, and you can use LUTs. And here is the key word. I have developed my own LUT for the DJI FPV drone. I will link it down in the description. You already saw the intro, so you see the before and the after, but it's not the only thing I do. I don't just slap my LUT on top of the footage and call it a day. There is a little bit of tweaking afterwards, but it's pretty simple, and I'll show you how I do it. So without any further ado, let's go for it. So here we are in Final Cut Pro 10. This is my software of choice, but like I've said before, you don't have to use this specific software. You can use any software you like. As long as you have the basic controls, you will be fine. So I have chosen these two clips right here to demonstrate how easy it is to color grade them and how some little tweaks can do a massive difference. So we start with this clip right here, which if we play is pretty basic in terms of colors. It is very flat because of the D-Cinelike color profile. This is pretty much the standard look that your footage is going to have straight out of the SD card if you have selected D-Cinelike in the camera settings of the DJI FPV drone. It is highly recommended to use D-Cinelike if you want to color grade your footage afterwards, because it retains a little bit more data and you can color grade it a lot easier compared to footage that has been shot in normal, for example. So a plugin that I use to color grade my footage is called Color Finale Pro. It is about $100. You don't have to use it. This is just my personal preference, and I'm going to drag Color Finale Pro on top of my footage and show you what I usually do when I want to color grade. So here we have all these different controls that you can tweak, but the first thing I will do is go to layers and click on edit layers. When we do that, we will have the option to add a LUT, and this is where I will be adding my own LUT. If I click on this, I will have my DJI FPV drone LUT, which I can enable, and when I click insert, you will see that it's terrible. But trust me, I have worked a lot on this LUT to make it not terrible. So of course it is quite saturated, and that's on purpose because you want to have more control over how much saturation you want to add. So the easiest thing you can do is to lower the intensity of this LUT, and I usually use it at about 60 to 70%. Here I think 60 would be fine. So I'll drag this down to 60%, and we already have quite a massive difference compared to what we had before. I still don't like the look of it though, so we'll have to tweak it a little bit. That's the thing with LUTs, you have to tweak them a bit because it's not a one-click solution for all of your footage, since it has been shot in different lighting, you have different colors, so you have to adjust those colors. So the thing that I do is click on this icon right here, which is the 6 vectors icon, and here you have control over all the different colors inside your footage. So for me, what I usually start with is to change the hue of the blue colors. So for example, the sky is a bit, I don't like the blue color of the sky, so I will change it a bit more towards the hue color, and I will drop down the saturation a little bit and also the luminosity. For me, this really helps to isolate this color and make it a little bit more cinematic, and I do the same with the cyan color right here. So I'm slightly going to drag it over to the positive side of this slider, and then drop the saturation and drop the luminosity. You can of course always tweak it if things don't look too good for you, and of course the orange color is the next thing which I want to tweak a little bit. It is a little bit weird looking, so I will add a little bit more red to those rocks, just a little bit, and think you can always go to the to the extreme side just so you can see what difference it makes. So like small values of 0.1 is enough, and I'll slightly desaturate it and lower the luminosity. And check this out. Check how much more contrast we have, how much more difference we have in the colors. And if I close this right now and click on disable this tab, you will see the difference we've made with the LUT and a few adjustments. So now I will add a little bit more exposure, since I think the shot looks kind of dark. 0.2, 0.3 is good enough. We don't want to overexpose the footage. We will add a little bit of contrast, maybe like so. From here, what I really like about Color Finale Pro is the fact that you can change the temperature, the tint, and the saturation of your footage. So I will add just a tiny bit of saturation, even though we have removed some saturations from some of the colors, but we will add it to the global clip right here, and then we will add a little bit of sharpness, like 3 or 4 or 5 is good enough. We don't want to have a super sharp footage. And then we are pretty much done with this footage. Of course, we can use a lot more time to tweak it and, you know, play with it so you can make it better in your own eyes, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Obviously, it takes a little bit longer for me usually, but here is how the footage looks like. And of course, my computer is struggling as we have 4K 60 footage here, but you see the difference from the before and the after. Next, we will go to this other clip, which I really like, but I shot it in the wrong white balance. I think it's too blue, and sometimes this can really ruin the look of your footage. So we'll do exactly the same thing. So we'll drag the Color Finale Pro plugin on top of that footage. We'll go to Edit Layers. We'll add our LUT. And again, it's a little bit too saturated. I will lower it to about 70%, I think. It's not as drastic as the previous one. So yeah, 70% or something like that is good enough. And then we'll go and add the 6 vectors once again. And for here, I think we don't have to adjust the blue as much. Maybe I'll desaturate the blue just a little bit, because I don't want it to be too saturated and too fake looking, if you know what I mean. And I'll do the same with the cyan color, just a little bit. I prefer to have those kind of muted tones here in this clip, and I will simply drag the hue on the orange a little bit, because we want to have a little bit more color inside those colors right here, these sections of the rocks that have a little bit more orange on them. And then I will drop the luminosity just a tiny bit. And I think I will play the clip so I can see how it looks and what we have done. So from here, I think it definitely needs a little bit more contrast. It needs a little bit of global saturation, and it definitely needs, in my opinion, a little bit warmer look. So I will increase the temperature just a tiny bit so we can have a little bit more of that sunny look, because like I said, I shot it with the wrong white balance. It was just too blue, and I just didn't enjoy how the regular footage looked like. So I will increase the exposure just a little bit so we have more of that bright sunny look inside the footage. And if we disable Color Finale, you will see how dark and, you know, just muted those colors are. And with the LUT and just a few tiny settings tweaked, we already have a lot more presence. We have a lot more of that sunny, natural looking colors that are just very much more pleasant to look at. So as you can see, it's really easy to add the LUT and also tweak it a little bit after you add it, because sometimes those colors need to be adjusted. For me, it's mostly the blue colors and the orange and the red ones that need to be tweaked, but it's really easy to change the hue a little bit, or just saturate them a little bit more, or desaturate them, depending on what type of look you're going for. But for me, that orange and teal color scheme is really appealing, and I'm just a huge fan of that. So this is my preferred way of color grading my FPV clips with the DJI FPV drone. I think it's very simple, but it definitely works. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how I color grade my footage with the DJI FPV drone. If you have enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this one. I really do appreciate it. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Have fun, fly safe, and I'll see you soon. Ciao.